Welcome to another Zen Rose Garden Pro Tip Series. Coming up in this video, Third Eye, the real thing.
For all our Zen heads in Zen Ed Academy, let us know you're here with the hashtag ZenHead for life.
And if you're watching live, give us a hashtag Live Tribe.
And if you're watching on the replay, give us a hashtag ReplayFam.
For those of you who are just getting to know us,
I'm Heather.
And I'm David
From ZenRoseGarden.com.
And if you're new, consider subscribing. Click that bell, ding, 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 and you'll be good to go.
Neuroscience has done a lot of study on religion in the brain and God in the brain and that kind of stuff. And I love Andrew Newberg's work on this topic. It's really fascinating. So what they did find was that religion doesn't necessarily hurt your brain. There's a lot of new age people around. No, not religion. It's when you put superstition and authority and you, me versus them into your religion and fears and all the demons and devils and all that, that actually hurts your brain. It's been shown to actually kind of shrink it.
It's not the religion itself.
It's not the religion itself. It's how you use the religion. So when you've got all these old kind of amygdala-based fears of these things, it actually starts to release chemicals that hurt your brain. And also makes you kind of an asshole.
And so dumbs you down, literally.
Right. So that's why we say do any kind of non-superstitious spiritual practice.
Even if it's religious, as long as you don't bring fear to it. Or an us versus them mentality.
Right.
So look in your life where your spiritual practice includes any kind of superstitious belief that you may have recreated from some old fear-based religious belief.
And this is what we see people doing when they make that transition from like their traditional religion that they're leaving into spiritual work, is sometimes they recreate a kind of superstition that comes from that old amygdala-based authoritarian God of like thousands of years ago when we were super primitive and fighting each other with sticks. And they bring it into some kind of modern spiritual peaceful thing, kind of creates this undercurrent that feeds an overactive limbic system. Especially if you are already an overly reactive empathic person.
And like Heather was talking about, there can be resistance because of that old primal amygdala, whose old authoritarian ways die hard. They really don't want to go.
Remember, it's Emperor Seducious or whoever he is. He's like back there.
Emperor No Groove.
What's his emperor? Some Star Wars nerd help me here. That he's like, he doesn't want to die, right? The dude doesn't want to die. He's just like,
I just know him as the Emperor. He's got a name, but nobody knows his name.
Emperor Seditiously douchebag. I don't know. But anyway, this
Emperor Sid Vicious.
Seditious?
Lord Sidious.
Palpatine. Lord Sidious. I've got to, thank God for nerds.
Lord Sidious, Emperor Palpatine.
Yes, both of those. Those are your amygdala right there. They're like the amygdala twins. So this is why we always say work on your fears, because very often those fears sneak over with us because that amygdala does not want to let go. It's been ruling your head for 150 million years.
Even though we're trying to get woke and be woke and we bring over the old shit, you can't evolve.
So here's my kind of advice around that before I tell you a really funny story that is kind of connected to I think it's really funny.
Hashtag Heather story time.
Is that they have shown that your meditation practice, your contemplation practice does not have to be as difficult as most people are making it. You don't have to sit there and like, I've got to do this for it. It can be as simple as you set aside a time to contemplate the mystical, to do some breath work, to smile, even to focus on what do you think it is. To even this can be considered part of it, because what they're showing is that these little dendrites in your brain just start growing like crazy. They're hungry for that brain food and that intellectual stimulation that ponders the mystical.
So basically, hang out with us every day and you're going to grow your brain.
There you go. So right now, you've done 2 sessions of meditation practice just by hanging out with us.
To literally grow your brain.
To literally grow your brain. So this is how you feed your frontal lobe and your ACC.
you know me.
You intellectually stimulate it. You breathe. You do your breath work. You do your yoga. You do all of those things for yourself that takes you out of the conscious mind. And it's not that hard to do. So I think a lot of our clients we see over the years try to make it super, super hard. Like, I can't meditate, it's so hard. That's not the point.
I think what they're doing there is they're basically putting a buffer between what they want to achieve and what they're actually doing.
And guess what you think that might be? Resistance from the old school. I can't do it. It's too hard. I did it. It's the way it goes, isn't it? So you got 150 million years versus 200,000 years. So that is why you show up every day to keep growing that part of your brain.
Literally.
But have more fun with it than you're having with it, because most of y'all are not having fun with it. Have fun with it.
Stick with us and we'll grow on you. All right, now it's Heather's story time.
Okay, so it was in the middle of finishing up a book on this kind of stuff. It was very ironic. About a month ago, we look at all of our comments on our YouTube, and we try to respond to just as many as we can. But there was a funny comment on an old Bedhead Diaries video that we did about...
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, and it was a video about the goddess cultures and how those arose, and like the progression of how we've seen God through time. And it was purely a theological exploration, right? There was nothing super crazy weird about it. And so somebody got on there and made a comment. And this is exactly, and I laughed because I was like, this is exactly what I'm talking about, how those old fears don't want to die, and how they just, a totally logical, spiritual, whatever person might just like all of a sudden flip into that amygdala. This was the perfect thing. The comment said, these guys are Satan worshipers.
Real thing.
These guys are Satan worshipers. Don't listen to them. They have a really bad energy. Usually when people are assholes, you don't get very much time in my living room. People forget that when you're on YouTube, this is my living room, and you guys are at my house. So,
and you are invited to stay as long as you're not a dude.
As long as you don't poop on my carpet, because once in a while you do get a snarky comment like that, but for like super religious people. So, but what's happening is you're seeing that old God not wanting to die, the old authoritarian amygdala just coming out and pooping on the carpet. So I thought it was great, but that's what I mean. So sometimes, that was a very dramatic example, but sometimes that happens within our own brain. Those old parts just kind of like come into our forefront and hijack our brain process when we're trying to do any kind of spiritual work, psychic work, intuitive work.
Right. You have to start with getting the brain healthy, right? Finding ways to slow down that conscious mind on a regular basis.
And contemplate the nature of the universe. It's not that hard, man.
As well as staying intellectually and creatively stimulated.
And really, you may not think that those things are directly related to your ability to have your psychic gifts open or your intuitive gifts open, but science is telling us otherwise. Science is telling us that those dendrites grow like crazy and those neural pathways connect like crazy when you just do these things.
And if you want to be in the psychic Olympics, you've definitely got to train.
Also, eliminating those places where you have old superstitions lurking. And how do you figure that out?
Lurker.
When you have a fear response. So if you have a fear response to something mystic or somebody's emotions, take a step back and look at that fear response and figure out where it's coming from. You know how we like to do. How we cleared up some mysteries or busted some spiritual myths.
Busted. We are fighting back against lost fairies and unicorns running amok, causing chaos and wreaking havoc.
We do love them both, but sometimes they drink too much love and light and puke rainbow frosting all over the carpet, and sometimes Satan worshiper comments.
We have learned that self-growth and developing your superpowers go together like sushi, Sapporo, and sake.
And that's why we did create our signature subscription membership and community Zen Ed Academy. Are you tired of mediumship advice that is way too complicated?
Are you tired of, ready for it? Play along at home, people telling you that the intuitive arts are satanic.
That's so fun to me.
Are you ready for psychic and mediumship training that will not scare the crap out of you? If so, Zen Ed Academy is the rebel beast. Rebel beast. Gotta love the rebel beast.
So Zen Ed Academy is where the science of self-growth meets the magic of mysticism. And this will work for you even if you're allergic to fairy dust and just need real information without all the unicorn poop.
Check out the link below for Zen Ed Academy. Right down there. If you like this video, hit that like button 5 times. Just kidding, once will be plenty.
Oh my God.
And for more live hangouts, behind the scenes secrets, and mind hacking pro tips,
Be sure to subscribe.
and click the bell to turn notifications on
So you're the first to know.
when we drop a new video.
Or go live.
Drop a new video.
Or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource, and the fact that you guys have chosen to spend that with us, we honor and appreciate that. But most importantly, that you are here to grow your brain, to become even better in your life and your business, and taking all of that to a completely new level. We honor and appreciate that even more. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video over here or over here.
We'll see you in the next video.